Welcome to Inspired Living with Keri Murphy, the podcast, where as your host each and every week, I am going to inspire you and empower you to share your message and step into that big vision you see for yourself. I'll be bringing you celebrity interviews, influencer insights, and my personal tips from decades as an on-camera talent, TV host, media expert, and entrepreneur, so you can build a brilliant seven-figure brand. Because when you're inspired, you inspire others. So let's go. Well, it's official. 2020 is behind us. And although I think the world is taking in a big sigh of relief, I want you to take a moment as we head into this new year full of new opportunity. What you learned from last year. I'm a big believer that everything happens for a reason, and there was a divine reason that the world had to reset, that perhaps you or someone you loved lost their job. Maybe they were very ill or you were personally affected by COVID. And although I don't wish that on anyone, I believe that there is greater meaning behind what happened in 2020. Not just COVID, but the civil unrest, the division of our country. And as we step into a new year, I want you to think for a minute, what were some of the lessons that you learned from last year? And what can you bring into this year with a new lens, a new perspective about what's possible and what's not possible? For example, I really thought that live events was where it was at with my company. I didn't think that virtually we could make the same impact, nor the same income. And I have to say that that was just a story I was telling myself. That last year we had the best year we ever had because my team and I committed to showing up. We committed to serving our community and making an impact in people's lives. It was a big lesson. And although I cannot wait to hug on my clients and my friends and my family, it was a great eye-opener for us to know that although I teach people how to be on camera, and I've done it for over a decade, that virtually through the lens, you really can make an extraordinary impact. And I knew that, but I didn't really know it, if that makes sense. So as we move into 2021 and we're looking at our plan, we will never abandon our virtual family, the community that we've built, as we start to reopen and bring back live events once again. I also really appreciated time with my fiance, Michael, who tours for a living. We had a little baby boy last year, and 2020 allowed us to be home and to celebrate the moments and to really breathe in the joy of his birth. So although there were some really heavy and difficult things, there was also light and there was love and there was opportunity. And so I want you to step into 2021, not with the attitude that, oh my God, I am so glad that year is behind me, but with what can I take from last year into this year that will create a new level of resilience in you, an opportunity in your life and in your business. When it comes to goals, I recently had one of my clients ask me, Keri, how do you goal set? What do you do? What does your team do to get ready? And believe it or not, we have 2021 all mapped out, but we also are adaptable. We know that things are going to come up. Oh my goodness, if that's something 2020 didn't teach us, right? That you have to be willing to be agile and adapt to whatever comes at you. And there are 4 Ds that I really look at when I am looking at what I want next, whether it's personally or in my business. So in this episode, I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to think about these 4 Ds as you step into this new year. The first D is decide. They say a confused mind will never buy, a confused conscience can't do. When we say, I want more money, that's not specific. Your brain doesn't know how to compute that. When you say, I want to make $10,000 a month, right? Then you can put that into some action. When you decide, I want to be healthier, that's pretty ambiguous. What does that mean? When you decide, You know what? I want to lean up. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to eat clean, right? That's a totally different way of thinking. So the number one thing we have to do as we head into any season of our life is decide. Decide what you want. Decide why you want it. Decide who you want to be, and get very, very clear on what those things are. That's why vision boards are so much fun and journaling is so much fun, because your brain thinks in pictures. So I want you to create the picture that you want to step into in this coming year. Now, I always say the decision is easy, right? That's why New Year's resolutions are so big and often they don't work because we get so excited. We decide we're going to do something big. We're going to launch a business. We're going to lose weight. We're going to find the love of our life. We're going to change something. But what happens next is where most things fall apart. And that is dedicate. In my many years of interviewing celebrities and millionaires and billionaires, there is this level of resilience and tenacity that is unlike anything else out there. Like Walt Disney says, my vision, it's sparkly and it's out there. And although I don't believe that you need a 5-year plan, I've never had one. And when I have one, it completely changes. But I think you have to have a powerful vision and mission that is literally driving you forward each and every day. And if you don't have that, now is the time. Now is the time to think about it, to step into it, and then commit to it. How many people join the gym? Remember when we used to go to those? And they're all excited. And then did you know that most people stop going to the gym after 60 days? So about 60 days, right? Memberships completely fall off. So it's the dedication that usually keeps us from pursuing what we want. It's impatience. It's I want it quicker, faster, easier. But let me tell you something, my friend. If it was quicker, faster, easier, would we appreciate it when we get it, when we got to the destination? I look back at my life and oh my goodness, all the adversity, all the challenges. And it actually made me so grateful for this last year because I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful family. I have a business that truly brings me joy. I have an incredible team. Did that happen overnight? No. Remember, I lost a business in the last recession and started completely over in my 30s. But I know what dedication to your vision does. But you have to take the next step. I say the yellow brick road will come to meet you when you take the first step. And then you have to be dedicated to walking the path, no matter what shows up. So as you move into this next year, not only do I want you to decide on what it is that you want, but I want you to really figure out how dedicated are you to getting it? How bad do you want it? And are you willing to do whatever it takes to get there? Because that is what creates success. It's not posting one video and saying, I didn't get the result, I'm not doing it. Or doing one webinar or one masterclass or launching Facebook ads or whatever it is you're doing in your business right now, doing one virtual event. It's not about the one. It's about the many that equals the result. So dedicate. Now, the next one is a biggie because we have this big vision. We have the sparkly vision. Maybe you want to create a 6 or 7-figure brand and you're just starting out and you're wondering, gosh, how do I do that? Well, first of all, take the first step. All right. Surround yourself with an amazing community. But then you have to really figure out, who do I need to become in order to make my vision real? Who do I need to become as a leader, as a CEO, as a spokesperson that's going to drive my vision forward? None of us are born with the success gene. Some of us are born into privilege. Some of us are born into greater possibility, perhaps. But when it comes to the people I've interviewed, and I think of my good friend, Glenn Stearns, who grew up in Maryland with bars on his windows. He barely made it through high school. He got a young girl pregnant at 14. I think he graduated college just skimming by a 2.0. And he created Stearns Financial. And quite a few years ago, I believe he sold it for about $13 billion. his story of resilience, of overcoming the odds, of believing in himself and developing who he needed to become to create the vision that he had. We all have what it takes to make our dreams come true, or else we wouldn't have them. I don't think it's an accident that we have these big visions and we have this desire to accomplish a certain thing when it's rooted in more than money. I think if we're chasing after money, money will always elude us, right? It's the energy in which we're going after whatever it is. But when you're chasing a dream of meaning, I think the money comes. I really do. And so I want you to think about, who do I need to become? What books do you need to read? What limiting beliefs do you need to revisit? What wounds do you need to heal? Who do you need to forgive? Who do you need to surround yourself with? When you look at these things, we are constantly evolving as human beings. And when we stop learning, we stop our potential for earning. And so as you're moving into this new year, I want you to think about, when's the last time you really invested in you? And what resources do you need? Is it a coach, a mentor, a mastermind group that is going to stretch you into becoming the leader, the CEO, the spokesperson that you see? We all have unlimited potential, but it's what you say to yourself in the mirror, right? It's those thoughts between our ears that often keep us from pursuing it. Sarah Blakely says she believes every person has $1 million idea. The sad part is most people will never believe it. Go after your dreams. Be excited about the vision that you got downloaded, right? And then figure out, who do I need to become to make this happen? And take the next step. Once you do that, it is time to deliver what it is that you want to put out into the world. Whether it's a new website, a new training, a new event, a new hairdo, right? Every day through video, which is what I teach, we get to choose how we show up, how we make an impact. And I so believe in my heart of hearts that the more impact we make on the planet, the more blessed we are as individuals. And yes, money is a wonderful energy exchange, especially when you give it back. And to me, that's really what inspired living is all about. It's about doing your genius work on the planet, something that ignites the fire within you, something that gets you up when there's a global pandemic happening in the world. And because of that, you are making an incredible contribution to people's lives. And the greater the contribution, the greater income we create. And that is full reciprocity, right? You get what you give. And when we live in scarcity, when we say things like, I wish, I can't, I hope, you are actually telling yourself to keep those things that you want away. But when you say things like, I can, I have, I will, just feel that. Feel the difference from I hope, I can't, I wish, to I can, I have, I will. I recently read my daughter the book, The Little Engine That Could, and I have not read that book forever. I mean, probably since I was a little girl. And as I'm reading her the book, there's this train, this little engine that needs help getting over the mountain. And this engine has toys and good food for all the good little kids on the other side of the mountain. But the engine is broken and this little engine can't get over the mountain. And so as these other engines come up, the little clown toy says, will you please help us? We have all of these toys and good food to bring the kids on the other side of the mountain, but we can't get there. And one of the engines was too proud and said, I don't help little engines like you. I have much more important things to do. And another little engine was so tired. It was an old engine and it's worked so hard. And it said, I would love to help, but I'm old and I can't help you. And then this blue little engine came along, and this little engine has never helped another engine over the mountain before. But this little blue engine really wanted to help. He wanted to get the toys and the good food to the kids on the other side. And so the little engine said to himself, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And before you know it, this little blue engine that has never tugged another engine, has never carried something, is helping this other engine. And together they go over the mountain and they deliver the toys and the food to the kids on the other side. What you think about, you bring about. If you think you can't, you won't. If you think you can, you will. So where are you right now? What story are you telling yourself? What are you truly believing that is possible? Do your words and your thoughts line up? For example, you might say, I really want a 6-figure business. But deep down, you don't feel you can create one or that you're worthy of money. So as you head into this new year, I ask you to decide, to dedicate, to develop, and deliver. And get ready, because this new year is going to be an amazing one because you said so. You've just heard another uplifting episode of Inspired Living with Keri Murphy, the podcast. I hope you loved it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. And if you'd like to know more about Inspired Living or to get your hands on many of our awesome free resources, such as the Be Studio Ready Guide, simply visit us at inspiredliving.tv/podcast. Remember, your vision is your destiny, and we're here to help you bring it to life. Join me again next week for another extraordinary episode.